So Laura, lovely to meet you.
Hello.
And congratulations, your song soundtracking the Broadchurch trailer, which is phenomenal.
Small town, small dream. Tell us the same old faces still they haunt me.
For a lot of our audience, it's going to be the first time they've kind of heard about you. So could you just tell us a bit about your journey? Because you've obviously come a long way and now you're with Sony, which is a massive deal. So
Incredible.
Tell us how you kind of got here.
No problem. So when I first knew I wanted to be a performer, I don't know, just always knew I wanted to be in front of people doing something. And it just worked out that I wrote a song for a cancer charity as the first song I ever wrote. And it just made me realise that I could just really touch people with something that just comes from within. And since then I just haven't really thought about it. It's just been writing and learning and self-improving the whole time.
And when did you kind of realise this is what I want to do? I'm not going to do anything else.
It was, do you know, that's a good point, because I was in the Air Cadets for ages, and when I was about like 13, I really wanted to be a fighter pilot for a really long time. I got like a flight in a Red Arrow jet, and it's just what I decided. I was like, this is amazing, because I've always been a thrill seeker. But my mum was like, no, Laura, you couldn't do that. So that reined me back in, and I was back on my performing thing.
I mean, flying in a fighter jet would be amazing, but what was your feeling when you first heard your song on the Broadchurch trailer?
That was really surreal. The first time I heard it, I was watching it on YouTube. I wasn't watching it on TV, so I was like, this is so strange. And it just fits the storyline so well, because my song Old Faces is about a small town, and it's about growing up, and just I wrote it when I came to London, and I realised that there was such a change in mentality between the two places. And Broadchurch is all about the small town vibe of thinking you know your community and thinking you know people, but taking the step outside of it and looking upon it, forgetting personal relationships, and it's great that my song has found a home in that. But also that Broadchurch and its audience have really welcomed it, and they really feel like it really adds emotional impact, which is my dream, like to really make emotional music and for it to accompany emotional pieces of visuals. It's perfect.
How does it feel when someone stripped you bare? How does it feel when there's light shining on your every intention?
Is there anyone who you'd like to work with?
I would absolutely love to work with all of my idols. Obviously, it would just be a dream come true. As well as people that have more recently been an influence. So people like James Blake, for example. I was super inspired by his simplicity and his minimalism, and just his really deep voice and keys. And that changed the way I wrote for a little while, because I stopped being so kind of narrative and ballady. I'm more kind of trying to be a little bit more interesting. And who else? I loved the Drive soundtrack as well, so much. So if I could work with anybody that had a part to play in that, it would just make synthy, beautiful music.
Makes a change from a lot of our interviewees who just say, you know, they want to work with One Direction. And
oh God! Oh no, I didn't say that. One Direction are great.
It'd be an interesting sound if you did.
It would be different. I'm not sure.
Different.
I'm not. I think I don't know how I'd react to 5 guys, and I'd just be like, I'm running the show. I don't think that would work very well.
What do you say is the best thing that you have done so far?
I'd say the best thing I've done so far, the highlight would definitely have to be Jules Holland. It was just an incredible thing to do, and a pleasure to meet him, and just to be a part of such a legendary show. And also being on tour with John Newman was amazing. It was a great experience, a massive learning curve for me. I've never played to such big audiences, so I just learned how to entertain as well as kind of perform and be emotional, and that balance is something I've never kind of had to do before. So it was an amazing time. It was really fun, and I mean, this whole year's just been so much fun. It's been hard work, but also it's just so rewarding seeing how people are relating to the music and how people are loving it, because that's just the goal, isn't it? Just the communication.
Absolutely. Well, have you kind of been starstruck by anyone yet?
Oh yes, I met.
I love that noise.
This is how I reacted. This is exactly how I reacted when I met David Gandy.
Oh, really? David Gandy? Wow.
gonna stop now. And then no, really, last thing I performed at, Jamie Cullum came up to me and said, hey, and that blew me away because he's just incredible. And I'm sure there's many more starstruck. I met Snoop Dogg the other night, and that was
so
pretty
cool.
I love him so much. And Ella Eyre, I love Ella Eyre actually, and she's amazing. So it was a pleasure to actually like be able to say hey.
And great hair.
And great hair, great voice, just amazing. So I'll be championing her too.
Ah, cool.
Cool.
So where do you see yourself kind of going now? What are your plans for the future? What do you hope is going to happen?
I just hope that people continue really relating. So we've got January the 5th, the Broadchurch Series 2 comes out. So hopefully around then things will start really kicking off with Old Faces perhaps. It comes out on January the 11th. And then we have a show on January the 19th at the Globe Theatre, which is just going to be beautiful. And I can't wait for that show. It's kind of the first show of the year. It's really early into the year, so it's just going to be a great kick start. And I just hope that we can continue playing at really weird venues and just do really interesting things and just really communicate with the audience and create a vibe around the whole thing and an atmosphere, because that's kind of my goal, is just to be in a world where it's just full of emotion, and at my shows people just really feel like they're in a place where it's for the music.
I'm just trying to find a way to block them out, 'cause I'm tired of them looking down.
What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy being out there and kind of performing it, or do you really enjoy being in the studio and creating?
That's hard. I think they're both. I think this year I've really enjoyed the performing more because it's my first real taste of it, and it was such a learning experience. And now that I've done that, I'm going to enjoy the writing, and it's more about getting that balance of the both of them, because you just miss either one. When you can't write, you miss writing, so you kind of hate being so busy doing live stuff, and then when you're writing for too long, you hate that people aren't hearing these songs, and you're like, it's pretty much, it's just a feeling, you know, when it's right to do either one.
And all your writing, is it going on here, or you managed to go to some amazing places? Because you always hear artists go abroad, all, you know, LA and Norway and wherever to do all their writing.
I know. I was really lucky. A spontaneous trip to LA in February, but it was for 3 days.
Yeah.
So it was purely work, but it was super good. And now I'm 21, I'm looking forward very much to going back to America, because I went to my hotel room and I was like, I wish I was 21, and they took my minibar away from me, and I felt really embarrassed. So that won't happen this time, but I'll be like a proper adult.
Well, yeah, you're still young, so you have your entire career ahead of you, and good luck with it, because it's obviously starting off in the right way. So good luck with the single.
Thank you so much.
And the album, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having me.